All right, it is 4 o'clock, so I'm going to call to order Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners Committee of the Whole meeting for May 20th, 2025. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Vice Chair Taylor.
Here.
Commissioner Wheeler.
Here.
Commissioner DeLue.
Here.
Commissioner Gisler.
Here.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler.
Here.
Commissioner Mazer.
Here.
Commissioner Morales. Commissioner Ray.
Present.
Chair Strebs.
Here.
I have Vice Chair Taylor on here twice. 8 present.
Thank you. And I did receive communication from Commissioner Morales. She will not be able to join us tonight at either session. So we hope to see her back at our next meeting. All right, we'll go to item number 2. This is opportunity for public comment. The time for members of the public to address the board. If you'd like to address us, please come forward to the podium. Tell us your name, where you're from. You've got 3 minutes. Timer will sound at the end of your time. It's a chance for addressing the board in a respectful and professional manner. Welcome, Ms. Toronto.
Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners. I just wanted to take the opportunity to introduce our 3rd employee of the Kalamazoo County Housing Department. We've hired our compliance specialist, Thomas Dayton. He's going to be managing our contracts and grants management and contract compliance. So we're really excited to have him on board. He's already hit the ground running. He's going to be a great asset to the team, I think. So if you want to say a couple of words.
Sure. Hello, everybody. As Willa said, my name is Thomas Dayton. Before being with the county, my background includes nonprofit housing as well as market rate housing. So a slight shift in gears, but I have a lot to learn and I'm really excited to be here. So thank you.
Wonderful. Welcome to you. Thank you so much. His shoes. Is there anybody else wishing to make public comment? And Dina, is there anyone who is called in online?
There are no hands raised.
All right, thank you. That will bring to the end public comment. We'll move to item 3, which is review accounts payable and payroll disbursements with Finance Director Ryan Post, who is manning the ship for us this evening for administration. Director Post.
Thank you. Chair, Vice Chair Pro Tem, Board of Commissioners. We have an accounts payable claims list totaling $5,334,922.39 is presented for review. Of this total, the Board of Commissioners is asked to approve claims totaling $5,123,120.66. Payroll disbursements totaling $4,260,593.22 are presented for the May 9th general, May 15th elected payrolls. That being said, we welcome any questions from the Board of Commissioners.
Commissioner DeLue.
I'm sorry, things are moving so quickly, I couldn't pull it up. But there was an expense or a check written for it's a WMU parking ramp. What? Wow, can you explain that, I guess?
Yes, there's a story behind that. So upon my arrival in Kalamazoo County, we were at the point when we sold property and we labeled it's called an activity or department. We created that to track all of the expenses that occurred with the property acquisitions. And so that does not relate to the WMU parking lot. That's just what we originally started to track, all of the sale and purchases under that budget. So then all the money coming into it is essentially the money going out, and it just helps us from an accounting perspective.
Any others? All right. Thank you to Director Post for always being responsive when I have a question or two every now and then. So thanks for fielding a couple earlier today. All right. With that, we will move on to item number 4, monthly investment report with Chief Deputy Treasurer Tyler.
Thank you, Chair. As of April 30th, the county's investment portfolio had a par value balance of $168,762,263.39 and a market value of $168,269,872.22. for a mark-to-market variance between par and market values of $492,391.17. For a little bit of context, that is an improvement in our market values of $363,765.21 from March. Note that this won't really apply to anything we're doing unless we were to liquidate our entire portfolio, which please don't ask us to do that. For the month of April, our portfolio earned $668,692.14 on an average daily balance of $180,610,843.41 for an effective rate of return on the county's investments for the month of 4.5%. This rate of return is inclusive of all of our realized gains, losses on sales and maturities, as well as amortization of premiums and discounts. Of the $668,000 that we earned, $433,029.10 relates to the general fund and budget stabilization investment pools. The general fund share of that is $427,000. Budget stabilization is about $6,000. For the year, our portfolio has earned $2.5 million on an average daily balance of $173,306.939.46 for an effective rate of return for the year of 4.39%. This is also inclusive of amortization and all of the lists that I said before. Of the $2.5 million that we've earned so far, $1,592,682.91 relates to the general fund and budget stabilization pools. And if we assume the rest of the year follows a similar track to the first couple of months, we're on track to earn $7.46 million for the year. And for our inflation update, inflation over the last 12 months for the April cutoff was 2.3%, and that's down from 2.4% in March, according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. Our 4.5% rate of return on investments is higher than inflation, and we experienced a 2.2% net gain in our purchasing power during the month. April's inflation was spread across the following categories. Food is up 2.8%. Energy commodities or fuel is down 11.5%. Energy services or utilities is up 6.2%, of which electricity went up 3.6%, gas went up 15.7%, shelter went up 4%, transportation services went up 2.5%, medical services up 3.1%, and other commodities, so vehicles, apparel, and medical commodities are up 0.1%. A lot of numbers there, but I'm happy to take any questions. Any way I can help.
Vice Chair.
Thank you. Mine's really quick. You said 7.5. We're on track roughly if everything assumes the same. I don't have it in front of me, and I know I could probably look this up. But do you know on the top of your head what did we budget for interest income as it relates to general fund? Was it 3 or 2.5?
I'm inclined to say 2.5, if I'm recalling.
Was it 2.5?
Finance director is nodding his head.
So 2.5. So of that 7 point so million, probably 65% or roughly, if we keep on that average, would be to 70% would be to general fund, correct? It's more than half.
Yeah,
right?
my mental math isn't working so well offhand, but yeah, I'm assuming that's about right, because if we earn 2.5 so far and roughly 1.6 is to general fund so far, then yeah, that's about holding steady there.
Okay, so we're roughly there will be at about 4.5 to 5 million for general fund for interest earnings, and we budgeted 2.5.
That would be the hope. I know that some of the earnings that we've had so far is because we've been getting our tax collections and we've been investing those at the margin. So as often as we can, as soon as we get the dollars in from tax collections, we put those into our investment pools. And then we're able to withdraw those, distribute as required by state law. Right now, we're not collecting anything. So I expect we'll have slightly lower earnings over the summer because we're not getting those marginal returns, but then we're going to go right back up once we start collecting again,
the summer tax.
Likely starting in August.
Okay. Well, I just got to say this is night and day compared to 2 years ago. God, thank you very much, Tyler. This board greatly appreciates it.
Commissioner Kistler.
Thank you, Chair. Tyler,
will like to put ditto marks under what John just said. You know, you're a breath of fresh air when it comes to finances. I appreciate that. And I will ask you now a question that I asked to Willa inappropriately a couple weeks ago. And she did her damnedest, but I should have asked the treasurer's office in the first place. And you don't have to give me an answer now unless you got it. But in the next couple of weeks, could you let us know what percent of the parcels in the county are off the tax rolls for one reason or another? I'd heard an old number, and I know it was accurate then, but it was like 52 or 53% of the parcels didn't pay taxes, property taxes, because they were schools or churches or who knows what else. So
I don't have that offhand, but it's easy enough for me to get. I've been doing a little bit of data work with assessing and planning and all that. Stick around. I'll be able to update that during public comment at the second meeting if you'd like.
oh, fantastic. I didn't intend for it to be done that quickly, but
Oh, I've already got the data,
I
so it's
also
easy enough just
officially
to.
wanted to apologize to Willa for browbeating her, but it was housing that I was thinking about. And, you know, housing pays taxes generally, but that's not schools. And, oh, hush, don't push your goodwill toward me. Thank you.
Good, seeing none others. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, we'll move to item 5. First item is first reading of a proclamation for annual World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. So just bringing that forward to the commissioners. If there's any discussion, we can read that into the record at the next regular board meeting in 2 weeks. Okay, and we'll move next to gun violence ARPA funded. I'm sorry. Thank you, Commissioner Gisler.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Only because I sit with the OSAC, Older Adult Services Advisory Council, do I know anything more than what's written right on the page. But elder abuse now covers, and probably a majority of them don't include things like beating on people and that sort of stuff. It's financial abuse. You get somebody in an old folks home and their relatives start getting in each other's way, trying to determine who gets the car, who gets the checking account, and that sort of thing. So it's not just abuse in the usual sense that I take it, of physical abuse. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that for the community, Commissioner Gisler. All right. Let's then move it forward to the gun violence ARPA funded Community Information Exchange Program in partnership with the Griffin Place. So we had a presentation on this item a couple of sessions ago. So they're really asking to make an adjustment to a prior ARPA award and focus this $200,000 now on a community information exchange. We just weren't clear if we kind of come to consensus about what the board wants to do with this particular item. If there are other, we sought some information from them about sort of what will be occurring. So in your board packet, you can see, you know, they identify the work is in alignment with the Blueprint for Peace. So it's that sort of community strategy helping us to reduce gun violence. And we're seeing marked reductions in the community, which is very encouraging. So they'd like to utilize this for community information exchange. This really helps them do sort of these warm handoffs for individuals. A person comes to them, they're helping connect them to other equitable service delivery and unmet needs. Identifies they include housing, education, food assistance, mental health resources, and job readiness programs. What else to summarize here? What the funding will help to support a full-time director of partner and community engagement, and then 4 community intervention navigators that will be trained as community health workers. Any other comments or discussion about what we want to do with this one, or we just want to move it forward for this refinement of the grant request? Go to Commissioner Ray and then to Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. So when I initially heard this, I felt like it was aligned with what we discussed as far as allocating the $200,000 for data. However, once I saw the budget and how the money was going to be spent, I'm not really sure how that's aligned with how we wanted to allocate the $200,000 for data for gun violence. It's just for salaries, and then community health workers. We've already allocated funding from another pot from the gun violence funding to train community health workers. So for me, I'm a little bit uncomfortable with moving this forward because again, we've already allocated funding for that and it still doesn't get us the data that we're looking to get. So yeah, I don't want to say it's a no. I think it's a good service. I just don't think that it's aligned with what we wanted to do with the funding. It's aligned with the blueprint for peace for sure, but just we had a whole ad hoc committee. We came out with this is what we want to allocate the funding for, and community health workers was one of that funding already went out. We don't really see the benefits of those who have been trained. They're doing community health work in a whole nother field and it's not even gun violence. So it's just like, what are we doing? Are we just continuing to give money to organizations that is not really kind of yielding us any results? So it's kind of I'm not really in support of moving this particular ask forward. I feel like even with the CIE database, it kind of morphed into something different from what was explained the first time when I met with the director. To me now, it just kind of sounds like 211, and I don't really see the difference outside of folks who are on the ground being able to make referrals into the system, but then you still are navigated around in the same way that you can call 211. I guess I just don't see the benefits for me personally. I think that the $200,000 can be spent some other way as it relates to gun violence prevention and reduction in the community outside of this specific proposal.
Thank you for that, Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. My question was along the same lines as Commissioner Trey. And how much money is left in that account? And I'm kind of concerned that we're not getting it to where it needs to go. But I'm just, I agree with what you're saying, that there's some questions here. And not that I don't think that Griffin isn't doing a good job. I'm just wondering, is this where we really want that money to go? I guess what I'm saying.
See if, I don't know if Finance Director can identify. So I think Vice Chair Pro Tem is just seeking clarification on the amount of ARPA funding that's outstanding related for gun violence. I mean, this is, I believe, the last amount unallocated related to gun violence. But if you could clarify if that's incorrect.
I will research this and follow up with the board accordingly.
Thank you, Director. Vice Chair.
I think you are correct. It's the last 200,000 and it was designed specifically for data enhancement. And if it was community health workers, I probably would be more, but it's just the certification of the community health people at $12,000. My only, I'm almost in complete agreement with Commissioner Ray, but my only concern is there a time that we have to spend this or we're going to lose the ARPA dollars? Yeah. What is that?
I believe it's the end of 2026.
Oh, it's the end of 2026. Yeah. So we still have a little bit of time. Yeah, I'm okay holding this back, and then we can discuss as a board to see where we want to spend this last 200,000. We originally allocated it for data. So if we've got till the end of 2026, I'm okay with waiting.
Commissioner Gisler.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I feel very much akin to what Tammy was talking about. And I'd like to pose a question, and I guess it's just a question that maybe isn't going to get an answer, at least not right now. I'd like to know when we're going to start seeing the quarterly reports showing progress made based on data that we indeed are making a dent in gun violence. And the stuff I've seen so far, and maybe that's all I should expect, is strategic this and flowery language, but no numbers, no data yet. So would we hopefully be expecting that in the next year or so?
Vice Chair.
I'm sorry, MLive did an article, and I'm not sure how much is attached to what we've been doing here, but I'm sure some of it is. But if you look at the last 3 years of gun violence in Kalamazoo County, it is declining. Whereas most communities our size are slightly increasing, we are slightly going down. So I think some of that is attributed to the work that we're doing here. I got my report from MLive. I didn't get it from this group, but they did I'll forward you that article. It was a really good article. It came out a few months ago.
I would also encourage, just a moment, Finance Director, another local media outlet now, Kalamazoo, continues to cover local community gun violence, and it's free. So you don't have to have that MLive subscription or whatever, fixed income for seniors. So that's another good place. I believe that I know we've had some additional incidents of gun violence in the community as of recent, but the last report, it was a 55% reduction in the number of gun-related homicides.
Down to 6 from 14 or something like that. When
In
you're dealing with small
2024
numbers, percentages are kind of.
Sure, but I believe in 2024, I believe it was 22. In 2023, there were 22 homicides, 15 of them were related to gun violence. So it is a small number, but each one of them, is a community member that we lose. Director Post, I think you had an answer for us.
Yes, Dr. Catlin has provided with the information. And this is the last 200,000 that is allocated to the gun violence, and it is specifically allocated for the gun violence data. The quarterly reports, Administrator Dr. Catlin has confirmed he's going to resend those. Those are quarterly reports, and that this is the only data relevant to the programs that we funded. And this is not actual gun violence data in the sense that has come to the table. It's only the data related to the gun violence program delivery.
So we'll see the number of contacts they've made, the number of community health workers that are trained, the number of individuals enrolled in violence intervention programming. And then we see then the outcomes. You can't directly say the correlation is causation, but we're making investments in the community. We're seeing improvements in the violence. So it's an indication we're on the right track. So. Good analogy, Commissioner Gisler. All right, it sounds like we have an agreement, and I always, I have a deep respect for Commissioner Ray's insight. She herself is trained in community violence intervention and has an understanding of this issue. And so certainly her recommendation carries heavy weight. And so I think we need to look in future discussion about what else we should allocate these resources to going forward. Okay, anything further on that? Okay, that's going to bring us to item number 6, which is a closed session discussion. Do we have a Commissioner Wheeler? Go ahead.
Thanks, Chair. I move that the Board of Commissioners meet in closed session under Section 8E of the Open Meetings Act to consult with our attorney regarding strategy concerning the termination of EPA grants.
Motion made by Commissioner Wheeler, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler. Is there any further discussion? Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner DeLu,
Yes.
Commissioner Gisler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer,
Yes.
Commissioner Morales, Commissioner Ray,
Yes.
Chair Strebs,
Yes.
Vice Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler.
Yes.
8 yes.
All right, we will reconvene. Committee of the whole. Motion.
I make a motion to come out of closed session.
Motion made by Commissioner Wheeler, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler to come out of closed session. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. That motion carries.
I make a motion to approve the closed session minutes.
Motion made by Commissioner Wheeler, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler to approve the meetings of our closed session. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Right, with that, we've exhausted our agenda and we are adjourned. Right, I'm going to call to order the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners, May 20th, 2025 regular meeting. Our first item is Commissioner DeLu with our invocation and reflection.
It's not really an invocation, it's more of a statement than a prayer. May our actions be guided by compassion, understanding, and commitment to make our community a better place. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll go to item number 3. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Vice Chair Taylor?
Here.
Commissioner Wheeler?
Here.
Commissioner DeLu?
Here.
Commissioner Gisler?
Here.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler?
Here.
Commissioner Mazer?
Here.
Commissioner Morales? Commissioner Ray?
Present.
Chair Strips?
Here.
8 present.
Thank you. All right, we'll go to item number 4. Proclamations. Our first is the approval of a proclamation recognizing June 2025 as Justice Against Bullying at School, JABS Awareness Month, Kalamazoo County. Commissioner Ray.
Thank you, Chair. So we have a proclamation proclaiming June 2025 Justice Against Bullying at Schools, JABS Awareness Month in Kalamazoo County. Whereas Justice Against Bullying at Schools has served nearly 800 youth impacted by bullying in Kalamazoo County since 2016. Whereas during that time, JABS has raised awareness, educated, supported, and empowered youth who have been affected by bullying in some way. Whereas the JABS initiative was recognized by the governor on its 5th anniversary and presented with a certificate of recognition. And whereas JABS employs and trains youth impacted by bullying and gun violence through the JABS Event Factory. Whereas JABS strongly supports the inclusion of students in the development of anti-bullying policy making process and allows students to form and organize groups to advocate for their own right to safe, bully-free, nonviolent educational spaces. Whereas anti-bullying initiatives like JABS are proving to be transformative in combating the childhood traumatic effects of bullying in academic environments, as well as enhancing better outcomes for students. Whereas Kalamazoo County has resolved to be a leader in trauma-informed work and has adopted a resolution to build trauma-informed, resilient, and healthy Kalamazoo County on April 3rd, 2018. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners recognizes June 2025 to be Justice Against Bullying at Schools, JABS Awareness Month from this day forward, and encourages all Kalamazoo County residents to recognize and support justice against bullying at school for strengthening our community and holding on to the promise for everyone, especially the school-age youth of Kalamazoo County.
Motion is made by Commissioner Ray, supported by Vice Chair Taylor. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. That motion carries. Want to present it to them? Sure, absolutely. Commissioner Ray, if you'd like to present it to representatives from JABS, and Gwendolyn or any of the youth, if you'd like to speak, please join us.
Thank you for our award. Thank you for recognizing jobs every year. Join us for Friday, June 6th for Jobs Awareness Month kickoff, Settle Up with Jobs. Also, we have a gun violence meeting coming up. A gun violence march coming up June 16th. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Our next will go to item 2025-534. It's a request for approval proclamation declaring the first Friday in June to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day.
Yes, whereas every day more than 120 Americans are killed by gun violence and more than 200 are shot and wounded, with an average of more than 17,000 gun homicides every year. Whereas Americans are 26 times more likely to die by gun homicide than people in other high-income countries. Whereas Michigan, which has had 1,382 gun deaths every year with a rate of 13.7 deaths per 100,000 people, a crisis that costs the state $16.8 billion each year, of which $380.5 million is paid by taxpayers. Michigan has the 25th highest rate of gun deaths in the U.S. Whereas gun homicides and assaults are concentrated in cities, with more than half of all firearm-related gun deaths in the nation occurring in 127 cities. Whereas cities and counties across the nation, including in Kalamazoo County, are working to end the senseless violence with evidence-based solutions. Whereas protecting public safety in the communities they serve is one of the Board of Commissioners' highest responsibilities, whereas support for the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding residents goes hand in hand with keeping guns away from people with dangerous histories. Whereas mayors, elected officials, and law enforcement officers, in partnership with local violence intervention activists and resources, know their communities best, are the most familiar with local criminal activity and how to address it, and are best positioned to understand how to keep their residents safe. Whereas gun violence prevention is more important than ever, as we see an increase in firearm homicides and non-fatal shootings across the country, increased calls to domestic violence hotlines, and an increase in city gun violence. Whereas in January 2013, Hadia Pendleton was tragically shot and killed at age 15, and on June 2nd, 2023, to recognize the 26th birthday of Hadia Pendleton, born June 2nd, 1997, people across the United States recognize National Gun Violence Awareness Day and wear orange in tribute to Hadia Pendleton and other victims of gun violence and the loved ones of those victims. And whereas the idea was inspired by a group of Hadia's friends who asked their classmates to commemorate her life by wearing orange. They chose this color because hunters wear orange to announce themselves to other hunters when out in the woods, and orange is a color that symbolizes the value of human life. Whereas anyone can join this campaign by pledging to wear an orange on June 6th, the first Friday in June in 2025, to help raise awareness about gun violence. Whereas by wearing orange on June 6, 2025, Americans will raise awareness about gun violence and honor the lives of gun violence victims and survivors. And whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the hands of people who should not have access to them, and encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our families and communities safe. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners declares the first Friday in June, June 6, 2025, to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day, and encourages all residents to support their local communities' efforts to prevent the tragic effects of gun violence and to honor and value all human life.
Motion made by Vice Chair Taylor and supported by Commissioner Wheeler. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, and we'll move forward to our next proclamation. Item 2025-533, request for approval of proclamation recognizing June 2025 as Pride Month in Kalamazoo County. Commissioner Wheeler.
Thank you, Chair. Proclamation June 2025 as Pride Month in Kalamazoo County. Whereas June 2025 marks the 54th year anniversary for the Stonewall Uprising. Whereas the Stonewall Uprising has led to the commemoration of June as LGBTQIA+ Pride Month. Whereas Outfront Kalamazoo has served the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community of Southwest Michigan for the past 30 years. Whereas during that time, the LGBTQIA+ community has grown in the face of adversity to become a more safe, welcome, and visible part of the community of Kalamazoo County. Whereas the people of Kalamazoo, including the City of Kalamazoo, City of Portage, Kalamazoo Township, and Ashmo Township, have actively supported their LGBTQIA+ neighbors through a growing number of human rights ordinances that protect people from discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity in housing, employment, and public accommodations. Whereas Kalamazoo County accepts that full equality for the LGBTQIA+ community has nevertheless yet to be realized and continues to strive toward the end of LGBTQIA+ homelessness in Kalamazoo and the end of LGBTQIA+ teen suicide and bullying in our society, and to the end of isolated and harassed LGBTQIA+ elders in our nursing homes and assisted living facilities, among so much more. Whereas Outfront Kalamazoo continues providing to LGBTQIA+ and allied community members in need for the access to resources necessary to help all people of our community be happy, healthy, and productive members of society. Whereas Kalamazoo County and Outfront Kalamazoo celebrate the diversity of all sexual orientations and gender identities, embrace the county's principle of treating residents with dignity, honesty, respect, and fairness, and promote a community where everyone can love who they are. Proclaimed that Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners hereby recognizes June 2025 to be LGBTQIA+ Pride Month in Kalamazoo County, encourages all Kalamazoo County residents to recognize and support Outfront Kalamazoo and Kalamazoo Pride for strengthening our community.
I'll support. Oh, thank you. Motion made by Commissioner Wheeler and supported by Commissioner Ray. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, with that, we'll move to item 5 on the agenda, which is communications. We have item 2025-551, which is a notice, public notice from Michigan Public Service Commission that will hold a pre-hearing to consider Indiana Michigan Power Company's INM May 1, 2025 application. Is there any additional communications that the board wishes to convey? Vice Chair.
I got an email. I'll forward it on to administration. Basically, it was from a local attorney complaining about parking at the courthouse.
Thank you. Any others? Okay. With that, we will move to item 6, approval of minutes. Item 2025-566, request for approval of May 7th, 2025 Committee of the Whole and regular meeting minutes.
Support it.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from May 7th and the meeting, both meetings.
Motion is made by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler, supported by Vice Chair Taylor. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approval of the minutes signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Go to item number 7, approval of the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda as presented.
Vice Chair, I wonder, we have one item, an EPA.
I move that we approve the agenda as presented with the addition of one item regarding work with the EPA.
In our non-consent? Thank you so much. And supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler. So we have a motion for approval of the agenda as amended, moved by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, we'll go next to item 8, presentations. We have none on the docket this evening. Item 9 is for public hearings. We also have none before us tonight. And now to item 10, public comment. This is an opportunity for public to address the board on any topic. If you'd like to address the board, please come to the podium. Tell us your name, where you're from. Ask you limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Your time will be displayed. Once your 3 minutes are up, your time to speak is finished. This is a chance to provide input in a professional and respectful manner. Is there anybody wishing to join us and make public comment? Welcome to you. See a button with a person on it in front of you, and then turn your mic on. Welcome.
Good evening. I'm Michelle Dressen. I'm the Life Skills Coordinator for the Ninth Circuit Men's and Women's Drug Treatment Courts. May is National Treatment Court Month, a month that is dedicated to honoring and celebrating these life-changing programs across the nation. In this month, we educate our community, we thank our staff and our supporters, and most importantly, we celebrate all the graduates and active participants in these programs. Treatment courts have been in Kalamazoo for 33 years. Our women's drug treatment court was the first gender-specific court in the nation and is now among over 200 treatment courts in the state and over 4,000 in the nation. At the circuit court level, Kalamazoo has a men's drug treatment court, a women's drug treatment court, a family treatment court, juvenile drug treatment court, and a Swift Insure sanctions program. Each of these programs focuses on the participant at an individual level, ensuring they gain the skills, education, and treatment to lead healthy and productive lives. These programs remain in Kalamazoo because they work. According to national data, treatment courts are the single most successful intervention in our nation's history for leading people with substance use and mental health disorders out of the justice system and into lives of stability. Treatment courts not only reduce crime, lower incarceration rates, and save taxpayers money, but they also reunite families and break the cycle of addiction. They improve employment rates, education levels, and end self-destructive behaviors. Just in the first half of this grant year, we had 10 participants graduate from our men's drug treatment program, 7 from the women's drug treatment program graduated. Our family treatment court welcomed 5 new families, and our juvenile drug treatment court welcomed 6 new youth, which is the most that they've had in the past 3 reporting periods combined. 70% of our men in our men's drug treatment court would be sitting in prison right now if this program did not exist. Our programs are continuing to grow, we are continuing to change lives, and we are very grateful that we have the support and the resources available in Kalamazoo County. I want to thank our grantors and charitable organizations for continuing to support us and the changes that we are making. Treatment court saves lives, they strengthen families, and they make communities safer. So let's celebrate the lives of those transformed by all of these programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to share public comment? Welcome back to Deputy Treasurer, Chief Deputy Treasurer.
Appreciate it. Just to answer Commissioner Gissler's question from the committee, the whole meeting. So there was a question on how many parcels we have that are exempt or not taxed, whether they're owned by a unit of government, whether an individual has a poverty exemption and so they are exempt from taxation. In the county, there's 4,787 parcels. And as a percentage of the entire county, it's 4.75%. There's over 100,000 parcels in the county. But for the question about if anything's nearing 50%, it might have been a reference for City of Kalamazoo specifically, but even then it's not about 50%. Of the 4,787 parcels in the county that are exempt, those that reside within the City of Kalamazoo, it's 1,722. There's 23,513 parcels in the city for real parcels, not including any personal property parcels. And that's only 7.32%. As far as acreage goes, for the county as a whole, the exempt parcels make up 41,222 acres of the total 365,000 acres in the county. So 11.25% of acreage would be considered exempt. And for the City of Kalamazoo, the closest we can get to 50%, 36.23% of the acreage in the city of Kalamazoo is considered exempt. So there's 8,001.5 parcels compared to the 22,000 acres in the city. But there's no 50% ownership of exemption for any particular local unit. So happy to give data if you want it, but not that just to answer that, does that cover what you were looking for, sir?
Yes, it does, and I apologize for being so far off base. I'm glad to be corrected.
Thank you very
All right.
much, Chief Deputy.
Thank
I appreciate you. Is there anyone else wishing to make public comment? Welcome to you. Hi. See a little button with a person on it. There you go. You got it. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Artesia Jones. I'm from Kalamazoo County. I am a participant currently in drug treatment court. Originally I wrote this as a speech for my graduation, but I don't know. I think it fits the setting. So also the first page kind of fell off somewhere. So obstacles for me may be different from others in this room, but they're obstacles. They're hard and they're stressful. They can be discouraging, but throughout this program, I overcame them and was rewarded with confidence in myself, of my strength, endurance, and awareness of my capabilities. I was rewarded with the feeling of being proud of myself. Others seeking resolutions for their problems may look like eating disorders or like lack of knowledge in our society, fighting cycles of homelessness. But it's just some people struggle with just different issues. But our struggle is our struggle. You know, coming in this program, I lacked responsibility, respect, and humility. I lacked that. I also lacked communication skills. I wasn't able to manage my priorities and my daughter's health priorities properly. Leaving this program, I have tended to every health concern regarding my daughter. I've addressed and took initiative and prioritized her therapy, her appointments, while being able to maintain my recovery. And I'm no longer discouraged when my attention is needed in multiple areas of my life. I'm no longer intimidated by all the responsibilities needed by me. I've learned how to become an active member of society and an active mother and overall a stronger woman. I achieved sobriety. I came in like this program 23 years old and I was like a hot mess. So I'm pretty sure like I can do it. Other people can do it too. It's up to us to change and end generational cycles. It's up to us to take what we were put through as children and the bad habits that we were taught to use them as excuses or motivation for our future character. It's up to us to change. We don't have to be victims of our past, and we are allowed to become whoever we want to be. But we must let the old us die. No cult, pun intended. Because everyone says drug court is like a cult or something, but it's not. But yeah, that's all I have to say. The drug court program, I was so against it in the beginning. I was in active use, but I'm 2 years sober now. I've been using since I was 14, and I'm 2 years sober. And my kids can tell, so I'm happy for the program. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We're proud of you. Good job. Thank you for sharing that. Is there anyone else that wishes to make public comment? Welcome. Come on forward.
One second. Hello, my name is Denise Davis. My address is 624 Charlotte Avenue. This evening, the focus is on honoring National Drug Court Treatment Month. Graduating from Women's Drug Court Treatment program in March of 2022. followed by 3 years of dedication and hard work. Upon entering the program, there was no stable place to live. My children have been removed from my care, and unemployment created additional. One second, I just lost. Hold on. Oh my gosh, what the heck? I'm sorry. Okay, upon entering the program, there was no stable place to live. My children have been removed from my care. Unemployment created additional challenges. Feeling of being broken, penniless, homeless, hopeless overshadowed everything. Mistrust in the courts and the process was present as well. Referrals to treatment included attending daily recovery meetings and encouragement to find a sponsor. After several months of acceptance and peace, we found marking after several months. Oh my God, I missed this. After several months, acceptance and peace were found, making the start of a positive transformation. Throughout the program, my children were returned to care. A stable full-time job was secured, and stable housing was achieved. Today brings happiness, joy, and freedom. Since graduation, jail has not been a part of my life, and a sense of powerlessness have been replaced with strength. An amazing support system is in place, and thanks to drug court treatment, a structure has been established. This program provides balance and perspective, fostering an open mind and the ability to love others unconditionally. Most importantly, the journey led to self-love. Thanks for the opportunity to be a part of Women's Drug Court Treatment Program. This program changed lives, both mine and my family. And I also will be coming up on 6 years clean, August 9th of this year. Thank you.
It's a lot of courage to share stories. We're proud of you too. Thank you so much. Is there anyone else who'd like to join us?
The dramatic.
Yes.
The dramatic one.
Welcome to Gwendolyn. Welcome.
Good evening, Chair Strabbs, Vice Chair Taylor, administrators not here, but all of the other commissioners. My name is Gwendolyn Hooker, and I am very, very grateful to you all again for declaring Justice Against Bullying at School Awareness Month in the County of Kalamazoo. We do lots and lots of work with school-age youth that have been impacted by bullying and gun violence. And we have been doing that for almost 10 years. And the results are in, you can see them in the pictures from the prom. We actually have 4 original JABS members that are graduating this year. And it's extraordinary. Their backstories are heartbreaking, but their strength and resilience prove that when you give support and love to youth, they will bloom and blossom and become just amazing human beings. And that's what you witnessed that was in the gallery earlier tonight. Also I would be remiss to not mention the father of Drug Treatment Court, my mentor, and amongst other things, a very good friend, Judge William Schmay, who is the father of Drug Treatment Court in Kalamazoo County. He is a friend. He is one of my biggest supporters and has been for at least 30 years of my life. Folks know that Hope Through Navigation has a tribute every year to honor the work of Judge Schmay and all of the many graduates that have come along since him. If it was not for him, none of the other courts would even exist. And so congratulations to all of the people that continue to do the work, but most especially congratulations to the graduates that put rubber to the road and actually get to do the work that actually benefits their lives and the lives of everyone around them. Again, thank you so very much. Thank you for continuing to recognize gun violence. Very, very strong supporter of that work. I'm sure you all know that. And I appreciate all of the things that you continue to do to provide services and supports for them. Thank you so much, and I will see you in June. Take care.
Is there anyone else? Dina, do we have anyone who is called in online?
Chair, we do not have any hands raised.
All right, thank you. With that, we will end our public comment. And we'll move to item 11, our consent agenda.
I move that we we pass the consent agenda and vote on it at one time and consider it as consent agenda by the board. I don't have the paper.
You got it. We get the gist. Motion made by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler. Any further discussion? Clerk, would you please call a roll?
Commissioner Ray,
Yes.
Chair Strubs,
Yes.
Vice Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner DeLu,
Yes.
Commissioner Gisler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer,
Yes.
Commissioner Morales. 8 yes.
That motion carries. We'll go now to item 12, unfinished business and general orders. We have none this evening. Then to item 13, new business. So we have some non-consent items first, and we'll take up our addition. So first is item 2025-531, request for approval to establish an ad hoc committee of the board to review and recommend an indoor youth sports facility site to the Board of Commissioners.
So moved.
A motion by Commissioner Ray, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler. Is there any further discussion? I'll just clarify for the community, this will be establishment of a short-term ad hoc committee with some representatives from both the county commission, a few local units of government with proposed site locations, and representatives from the community. And they will convene to finalize a potential site location, which will eventually be recommended back to us. All right, yes, Commissioner Gisler.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, as I did the last meeting when we talked about this item, I'd like to recommend that Montice Morales be representing the county commission, please, because she's obviously been involved in this up to her earlobes, and I'd like to see her continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Gisler. Vice Chair.
Yeah, and I agree with Commissioner Gisler, but also someone that has done an excellent job with Discover Kalamazoo and represented this well. I think Commissioner Wheeler should be our second member on there. I think she's been doing a great job as well.
Thank you, Vice Chair. So we'll move first the establishment of this body, and then our next vote, we will take up and make appointments as recommended by colleagues here as well. Commissioner Gisler.
Thank you again, Chair. I apologize, Abby. I didn't read the whole agenda. That you couldn't do better than those two. Thank you.
Agreed, Commissioner Gisler. All right, any further discussion? All right, with that, Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Chair Strubs,
Yes.
Vice Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner DeLu,
Yes.
Commissioner Gisler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer,
Yes.
Commissioner Morales, Commissioner Ray.
Yes.
8 yes.
All right, with that, the motion carries. We'll go to our next item, which is item 2025-558. This is a request for approval of the appointments to the Youth Sports Facility Ad Hoc Committee. The board approve appointments to the Youth Sports Ad Hoc Committee effective upon board approval. And then within the agenda, we do have the list. I can review that on a comment unless someone else does. So entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Wheeler, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler. Any further discussion? All right, so I'll just elevate for the community. We have some nominees presented for us from Discover Kalamazoo, Jill Bland, Anne Marie Borman, Jane Ghosh, Rich McDonald, Deshiva Patel, Ryan Persky, Corey Person, and Fred Rami. And then our county board chair appointments. So our bylaws require two representatives from the commission on an ad hoc, so we'll be moving forward Commissioners Morales and Wheeler. And then also bringing forth Vice Mayor of the City of Kalamazoo, Gene Hess, Portage City Manager Pat McGinnis, and Texas Charter Township Superintendent Brooke Hovenkamp. Any further discussion? Vice Chair.
Really quickly to elevate it to the community, this will take a 2/3 vote because we're suspending our bylaws. So we're not going to go through interviewing 13 people as this is something that we need to move forward with expediency. So normally we interview any new authority or ad hoc committee, but in this case, this motion previously we had voted to suspend our bylaws. So I think it takes a 2/3 vote.
That's correct. Commissioner Ray.
Thank you, Chair. So to that point, we don't need to suspend our bylaws before we vote on this?
No, we do not. Clarification with council, the motion we just previously passed, the
Commissioner Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner DeLu,
Yes.
Commissioner Gisler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler.
Yes.
this, actually, we had a motion on the floor and we took up a secondary motion. Try and make it complicated for council. My apologies. I'm not sure.
Then remake it now.
Thank you. So prior motion for item 2025-558 was withdrawn by Vice Chair Taylor and agreed to by our supporter, Commissioner Wheeler. We've moved forward with a motion to suspend our bylaws by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Commissioner Ray, which has been approved. Now we'll move forward again with our motion. Thank you, Vice Chair.
I move that we appoint Jill Bland, Anna Maria Borman, Jane Ghosh, Rich McDonald, you pronounce these so much better than I did. Devisha Patel, Brian Persky, Corey Person, and Fred Rami. And then the board chair appointments would be Commissioner Morales, Commissioner Wheeler, Gene Hess from the city of Kalamazoo, Pat McGinnis from the city of Portage, and Brooke Hovenkamp from Texas Charter Township.
Motion again made by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Commissioner Wheeler. Is there any further discussion? Council, do you have something?
Yes, Lou just texted me and said to go with the main motion. I'm not sure what that means. I think he's saying don't suspend and just go with as it was.
Thank you, Council. We appreciate the support. All right, do we have any additional discussion? Sorry to make it hard on Ed too while he's trying to. I know it. We appreciate him. All right, with no further discussion, we can take this by voice vote. All those in favor of the appointments as stated signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Congratulations to Discover Kalamazoo. and to our appointees. Look forward to that dialogue. Okay, now we'll move forward to item 14. It looks like Council's getting a call. Yes. No, we do not.
Okay. No.
Thank you. I consulted on that earlier. Thank you so much. Hopefully, council is taking some advisement, so maybe we'll hear some additional direction. We'll go to item 14, public comment. It's another opportunity. I'm so sorry. Oh, thank you. Very good. We have an additional item, Vice Chair. Yes, thank you. I got it.
Thank you, Chair. I move that the Board of Commissioners authorize the county to join the proposed class action lawsuit regarding the termination of the EPA grants, potentially as a named plaintiff, and authorize corporate counsel to review the proposed retainer agreements with the pro bono law groups leading litigation, which are Lawyers for Good Governance, Earth Justice, and Southern Environmental Law Center, and to authorize the chair to execute all relevant agreements.
That motion is made by Commissioner Wheeler, supported by Vice Chair Taylor. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. All right. Now I can go to item 14, which is public comment. Is there anyone else wishing to address the board? Please join us at the podium. All right, I'm seeing none. Dina, do we have anyone else who's called in online for this opportunity?
Chair, we do not.
All right, thank you. With that, we will end public comment. We'll move to reports of our officers, bodies, administrator, and controller. So I will lead that off. I'll be brief this evening, as I always try to be. Just to elevate, you know, we have significant threat at the federal government is moving through budget reconciliation consideration that will have a devastating impact in cuts to Medicaid. I've seen projections by the Congressional Budget Office that it would remove health care from 13.7 million Americans. 40% of children in the United States receive their health care through Medicaid. I think while we can probably all agree that the federal government cannot continue egregious budget deficits year over year over year, what does not need to occur to resolve that problem is gutting the supports, services, and programming that fund and that are funded by the people who pay taxes. What are we paying them for? So we can choose healthcare, education, housing, and food for our people, or we continue to fund destruction, war, greed, violence, oppression. It seems like a clear choice to me. So please, now is not the opportunity to be silent. It is the time to reach out, use your voice, talk to your representative. Representative Huizenga remains difficult to reach without an active voicemail for local constituents. Go to his office, talk to his staff, pick up the phone, email, call, and don't quit raising your voice until change happens. I'd also like to thank the majority of our commission tonight for selecting to move forward in exploring class action litigation in defense of our EPA grant, $18.9 million for climate resiliency. We just watched our community struggle over this last week with another severe weather emergency that left thousands of people without power. our EPA grant would allow us to prepare to build community neighborhood associations to help heat and cool people when power is down, to train workers, to shore up homes in our core neighborhoods. So standing for our rights, for the constitutional authority of Congress to appropriate funds as they see fit and sign into law is a step that we must take to defend our community and our democracy. And this board is about it. So thank you for that. Vice Chair.
Thank you. First, I would like to thank all the people from Drug Treatment Court that came and spoke to us today. Those stories are just so powerful and so uplifting. To reinforce what one of our community members said, Ms. Hooker, about Judge Schmay. What an incredible, incredible human being. You look back at what that man was able to accomplish within the court systems in Kalamazoo County, how he got the specialty courts up and running, how he became a model for all around the country. She was definitely one of the giants of Kalamazoo County. He still is one of the giants of Kalamazoo County. So I'm just going to reinforce what Gwendolyn said about Judge Schmay. Absolutely an amazing man. Secondly, I was very proud today to our new county staff, our newer members of our county staff, whether it was Taylor giving us a presentation on the EPA grant or Tyler talking about the dollars that are being raised and stayed longer to answer Commissioner Gissler's questions. And I said I would give him a hard time, but I'm going to do the complete opposite of it. Our finance director, Ryan Post, he steps in and he does an incredible job. And how we are able to transition, and it's going to take a couple more years, but we are well on our way to transitioning the structure of county budgeting so that it's more transparent, it's more open to everyone else, and that we're not creating these huge structural surpluses anymore, but we're actually addressing and getting these dollars back into our community. And a big thanks to you for that, Ryan. And Bo, if you're still up, it's time for bed.
Well, yeah, sending him to bed early. Let's go to Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. As I usually do, I want us to reach out and thank our military, our law enforcement, our firemen, our medical people who, as this last week has been established, that we had a major disaster. I was going to call it a mess, but we got through it. We were very fortunate. We didn't have the tragedies they had south of us. We need to pray for those folks and their recovery during this time of some major weather events. But thank all of those that have been out there working. Some of my colleagues have been out on the front lines, and it's important that we recognize them and thank them for their service. They've been trying very hard to keep us all safe and do what they can to get things. And I want to thank the community. Thursday night, I spent the night out working accidents and helping clear roads, but I had a lot of citizens that came out and helped. They stepped up and didn't wait for county road or for the fire department or for us who were extremely strapped, came out and were helping us get those roads cleared. I want to thank them for their time and their effort and helping to keep our community safe. We've got a lot of cleanup to do in this county. We have a lot to do across the state. Other states have the same issue. So thank you to those folks. Please stay safe when you're doing those things. Don't just figure that everybody sees you, because we had a number of folks that didn't see the trees down, didn't see the poles down, didn't see the wires down, and got damage to their property. Fortunately, we had no loss of life, but we had some very close calls. So, but those folks that are out there doing the job daily, please take a minute to thank them for their hard work, and keep me in your prayers. And I want to support my my family. We had a new granddaughter born today. So my oldest son had his third child. He's got two girls and a boy now, and his birthday, JJ's, was yesterday. So the two of them will be real close. Thank you.
Congratulations, Vice Chair Pro Tem. All right, with that, administration.
Just want to thank the board of commissioners and administration for keeping this meeting afloat, and hopefully it was a successful meeting that you all felt that. That's what we see. So I just want to thank you and thank everyone for their comments this evening.
Good. Thank you, Director Post, for steering the ship for us. Excellent. All right, we'll move to commissioner comments. We'll start with Commissioner Ray.
Thank you, Chair. I'll just echo Ryan's words and keep it short. So thank you.
Chair Wheeler.
Thanks, Chair. I'll echo Vice Chair and say thank you to those who came out and spoke about their experiences with drug treatment court. It's fantastic to see those stories. And again, thank you to all of our staff for keeping this going. We appreciate all of you. And I'm very excited for this ad hoc committee for Discover Kalamazoo for the youth sports facility. So very excited to looking forward to the future with that.
Thank you, Commissioner Mazur.
And I'll be the shortest. I have no comments.
Thank you, Commissioner Gisler.
Thank you, Chair. I have two comments tonight. One, I hadn't even planned on saying it, but Judge Schmay's name has come up multiple times, and talk about good fortune. I happened to go to my first drug treatment court observation, which we get invited to, frequently. And who's sitting right next to me in what I guess was the jury box? Judge Schmay. And he was under his breath giving me chapter and verse on everything that was going on. So I feel like I've had a master's class in our specialty courts, and I will forever be grateful to it for that. It's a wonderful program, saves us money as a county, saves us citizens, saves lives. It's, a lot of times I'm not big on things that government does, but don't mess with drug treatment courts. That's good stuff. And the other item I want to mention is Thursday afternoon, I guess, between 4 and 7, the K-RISA Career Connect operation will have an open house at the corner of Sprinkle and I-94, and they're going to have staff there to accommodate all kinds of people that want to see the facility, talk about it, and that sort of thing. So we've got a 3-hour window for a great open house for a great facility. I had a chance to take a look at it last Monday, not last Monday, but a week ago, and it blows your mind. It's really, really something. So I encourage everybody, if you got time, and it's not the sort of thing you got to stay for 3 hours. It's an open house, so you can come and go as your schedule permits. I hope everybody gets a chance to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Gisler and Commissioner DeLue.
Yes, I don't think it can be overstated, but this sports complex, again, I don't know. We can't thank Discover Kalamazoo and Jane and her staff enough. This is just a huge win for the community. I'm glad we can help keep it on track. And it's one of those projects that everybody's in favor of. So far, there hasn't been any resistance to this whatsoever. So appreciate Discovery Kalamazoo and appreciate this board supporting it and keep things on track, because it's going to make Kalamazoo a better place to live, work, and play. Right, Commissioner Epler? All right, thank you.
Well done.
Good job for you.